Good morning. Today is Sunday, the 21st day of Cheshvan. It is yesterday we celebrated the birthday of the Rebbe Rashab, 160 years. And now we continue with the Rebbe Rashab's, the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, his teachings and his guidance to explain the Chassidus and to spread the Chassidus. And he explained it in a way, the fact that we can study Chassidus today, in a way, and understand such deep concepts is only due to the deep explanations that the Rebbe Rashab gave us. And so we continue now, chapter 29, in the Igeret HaKodesh from the Alter Rebbe. Now, in this chapter, the Rebbe began to explain the meaning of what the importance of the learning of the halacha, and he explained that the halacha is considered the crown of the Torah. In order to understand this, he brought the explanation from the Arizal why the neshama needs to come down to this world. Every person comes down to the world more than once. There is reincarnations. And why? Because the neshama, as godly as it is that when Hashem brings down the neshama to this world, the neshama is a nivra, is a creation of Hashem. And therefore, the distance between the neshama and Hashem is endless. And there is no way for the neshama, for the soul, to be able to enjoy and connect to the godly energy unless it has something that connects it. And that is, it needs to have a garment, a special garment that enables it to appreciate the light of Hashem. And what is the garment? The garment is the mitzvahs. The mitzvahs that are the will of Hashem. And yet, in the same time, they are connected with the physical action, with the physical world. That's why the mitzvahs is the only thing that it enables the neshama to connect to Hashem without being completely nullified in the endless light of Hashem. Let's continue today's shiur. Says the Alter Rebbe, "V'inei rotzeina elyon baruch hu mechuna v'nikra b'fichach me'emes v'shem keser elyon." Now, this will of Hashem, the will of God, the supernal will, that is termed by the sages, the Kabbalists, they call it Keser Elyon. Keser Elyon means the supreme crown. Uboy Taf Reish Chof Amudei Oyer V'chulu. Now, in the Keser, the crown, it has 620 pillars of light. Now, the word Keser is 620. Kaf, Taf, Reish. Kaf is 20, Taf is 400, and Reish is 200. It makes 620. And he calls it the pillars of light. Pirush derech mashal. So this says by way of analogy, K'moy sheyesh amudim bebeis chayma gadol, just like there are pillars. When there's a big house, when you have pillars that keep the ceiling, nitzavim ba'aretz, the pillars are grounded in the floor, on the ground, standing on the ground, v'roisha mechuba batikra, and their head is connected with the ceiling, so it connects the head and the top and the bottom. Precisely so. Metaphorically speaking, Keser Elyon Baruch Hu, the supernal Keser of the Blessed Hashem, Hulemailo mipchinas madregas hachachma. The Kesser, the crown, is above the level of wisdom. Chachma. Chachma is the beginning of all the spheres, all the attributes. Vehu milashon kaiseres, and the word Kesser relates to the word kaiseres. It means a capital. Shu machtir umakif ala meichin sheberoish, which surrounds and encompasses over the brain in the head. Shem pchinas Chabad. Now this Kesser, the verotzin zeh, nislabesh betaryag mitzvahs HaTorah, this will of Hashem, this supernal will, vested itself in the 613 commandments of the Torah, v'zayin mitzvahs de Rabbanon, and also in the 7 rabbinical commandments, which together makes it 620. Sherubam kekulam hein mitzvahs masiyos. Now the vast majority of them, of those mitzvahs, are mitzvahs that are connected with action. V'gam atluyos b'dibur. Now even those commandments that are not with action, some mitzvahs are connected with speech. Like there's a mitzvah of studying Torah with speech, there's a mitzvah of praying, it's connected with speech, not with action. So it says that, says the Alter Rebbe, that also is considered action. Kaimelon, we have an accepted halachic principle, the akima svasov ave maiset, that the movement of one's lips is considered an act, is regarded as an act. So that therefore even the mitzvahs that are connected with speaking are also considered action. So that God's will invested itself into the action. More so, says the Alter Rebbe, v'gam atluyos b'machashava oy belev. There are other type of mitzvahs that are connected with the emotions, with the thoughts, like believing in Hashem and so on. So those mitzvahs, we don't see any action. Nevertheless, they're connected with the heart or with the thought or with the heart. Nevertheless, that commandment is given to a physical man, a physical person in this physical world. So even the mitzvahs that are in thought and speech are also connected with a physical person. And that physical person, says the Alter Rebbe, shehu baal bechira lehatis levavoi letoi v'chulu. That physical person has the choice to turn his heart to good, or and so on, meaning the opposite. Ma she'ein kein haneshama beloi guf, ein tzorich letzavos al zeh. But the soul without a body, however, doesn't need a commandment about this. V'nimtza. What comes out? Shamitzvah is a derech mashul. Kemo yoamudim nitzavim merum amaylos rotzen eliem baruch hu ad oretz ad lazuach chubus. So this is it explains. This is why, and we find it follows that the commandments that Hashem gave us, metaphorically speaking, they are like the pillars that stand all the way on top and connects the will of Hashem all the way to this physical world. They are just, that to use metaphorically speaking, they are like hollow pillars. Shemakifim umalbishim nishmas ha'odam erucho yenafshe keshemekayim hamitzvos. And that those pillars are considered the garments that make the garb, the soul of the person, the ruach, the spirit, or the nefesh, when a person fulfills the mitzvahs. And through these pillars, by way of these pillars, oilim nefesh ruach neshama sheloi adruma mailis. The nefesh ruach neshama of the person reaches up to the top of the levels. Litzroi bitzroi rachayim es Hashem, It ascends to the higher levels to be bound to be bound up with the bond of life with Hashem, with God. Pirush liyos tzruros umeluboshes ba'ira keser urotzen elyon baruch hu, which means that is to be bound and vested in the light of keser, which is the higher, the will of Hashem, blessed be. Now that the neshama receives that levush, that garment, that bond, that garment of the light of Hashem, through this garment, yuchulu lachazois benoyam Hashem, the neshama is able to behold the pleasantness of Hashem. Vetzachtzachus. Tzachtzachus means a thirst. Tzachtzachus means like it's dry. That when the neshama feels dry, meaning it feels a thirst and wants to have more godliness. So this levush, this garment of the mitzvahs, enables the neshama to connect and to feel the pleasantness of God and the thirst in the pleasantness, the pleasant thirst. It is even higher than the keser, higher than the crown. This is the inner part of the keser. Even though it is explained elsewhere that the commandments are the pnimius, the innermost element of the Rotzen Elyon, the supernal will. It is known to the people who study Kabbalah that there are many different levels in each level. There are multitude of aspects and level in each level, within each level. From the levels of holiness. There is the face to the face, and there is the aspect also of the achoraim, the external part of the external. What does that mean? It means that within each and every level, there is the pnimius and the chitzonius, the inside and the outside. And with each and every level, compared to the lower level, it's considered outside, inside. Compared to a higher level, it's considered outside. So therefore, he says, when we're talking about the fact that the mitzvahs are called the pnimius Rotzen Elyon, the inner part of the Rotzen Elyon, does not contradict to what we just said, that this goes even higher than the keser. Ve'inei, the Alter Rebbe concludes, there is Zayin mitzvahs the Rabbanon eina nechshoves mitzvahs bifnei atzma. Now, wants to make sure, although we say that keser is 620, and we know we have 613 commandments, not 620 commandments. So we added the 7 mitzvahs of the Rabbanon. So why don't we say that we have 620? So he says, because we have 613 commandments. The 7 mitzvahs that are Rabbanon are not considered as separate mitzvahs. Why? Because the Torah says, Lo Tosef. You're not allowed to add any mitzvahs to the Torah. Whatever amount of mitzvahs there is in Torah, it says that's what we have, and you cannot add and you cannot subtract. So, but the 7 mitzvahs, the rabbinical mitzvahs that they added, they are included and they are drawn from the they're part of the 613 mitzvahs themselves. They are rather they derive and issued from the commandments of the Torah, and they're included in them b'mispar taryag, in the number of 613, and it says the number of 613 is exact. Why? Lehalbish taryag pchinos vekoichos shebenefesh ruach neshama adam naran adam. These 613 mitzvahs are garments. Those are the garments to dress each and every part of the person, of the neshama of the person, which has 613 koiches, 613 levels. And each part of this neshama needs a garment, a garb, to be able to connect and to receive the light of Hashem. Otherwise, it's going to be missing a garment. And this is what we explained at the beginning of the chapter. This is why the neshama sometimes needs to come down again and again and again in this world. So that with every time it comes to this world, it fulfills more mitzvahs, different types of mitzvahs, and those mitzvahs shield the neshama and enables the neshama to appreciate something which is above. This is the end of today's shir. Just to give an example, to understand it a little bit, is when the concept that there are certain levels that we cannot grasp. In order to understand it, you need to have something a little bit, a taste from above. I mean, just like you give a vaccine, you give a taste from the thing, what you want to be vaccinated, and then you're already able to connect to it. So there's another example also when you want to, let's say you want to give a child listens in to conversations of adults. So they're talking about world things, they're talking about those big rich countries that they swallow up the small countries, the poor countries. And the child listens and he has no clue what they're talking about, countries, swallowing up countries, and he has no idea what they're talking about. So you have to go down to the level of the child and you have to give him an example. And you tell the child, imagine you have a friend that comes, he has a lot of toys. He has plenty of toys and he always likes to have a lot of toys and comes to school with many toys. And then there is another poor child that has one little toy. And that child that has a lot of toys, it comes, he also wants this toy also and takes it to himself. Now the child understands, he gets a little understanding. He has a little bit of what the adults are talking about. Not that he understands everything, but he has some idea. So the godliness and this physical world, and even the neshama, even souls, malachim, neshamas, they're all something which is so distant from Hashem and so far, and they're not able to have any idea in godliness. And if you have an idea, if you will have the connection, you will be completely nullified, completely become part of Hashem. In order for the neshama to be able to sustain and to be an neshama and to be able to want and connect to godliness, Hashem has to give it this garment. And the garment has part of the will of Hashem, and the only one that can do it is Hashem himself, God himself. He's able to lower himself into the mitzvahs, and each mitzvah garbs a different part of the neshama. And this is how the neshama, through the garments, is able to connect in every possible way that Hashem gave us to connect to Hashem. So this is the end of today's shir. Thank you for joining, and please share this, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, Bezrat Hashem. Any questions, people, you can ask now.